This is Financially Fit Business with Ruth King.
Welcome to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to the health of your business or your clients' businesses. I'm your host, Ruth King. Here's how we will help you increase the financial fitness of your businesses today. This is part 3 of financial advisory services. And in today's session, we're going to talk about pricing. So in the first podcast, we talked about the ideal advisory client. In the second one, we talked about enrolling clients. And in the third one, which is today, we're going to talk about pricing. We still are going to talk about preparing for the meeting and meeting with your client in future sessions. So let's get started on pricing. Before we begin, I've asked you to make a list of 3 or more candidates who are good candidates for your financial advisory services. So 3 or more clients who are good candidates for your financial advisory services. And given that it's getting close to tax time and you're probably knee deep into preparation of taxes, you may want to do this after tax season and make the phone calls that we talked about in the last session after tax season, or some of you may want to do it now. But it's really a good idea to at least have an idea of which clients you want to contact later. Make a list of them and put them away. So before we begin the pricing, you really and truly need to know how much they've spent in previous years. It's really, really important because you'll get a sense of where you can potentially go with respect to the pricing. And yes, you've not done financial advisory services, at least most of you have not. And so you can add that to the pricing as we go through this. All right. When you look at recurring revenue pricing, i.e., they're going to pay a specific amount every single month, there's no surprises. It's like going to the it's like going where you had a heating and air guy come to your house and they told you the exact price that you're going to be paying. And then they talk to you about maintaining your system, which is a really important thing to do. And it's recurring revenue to them because you invest a certain amount every year or every month, and it's a continually recurring revenue for them. Well, you can do recurring revenue for your businesses also. Let's look at it first. What's in it for your clients? Number one, there's no surprise bills. They know exactly what they're paying every month. They're not afraid to call you on the phone and ask a question. There's no uneven bills either, i.e., tax preparation can be a huge invoice to them, and that's where they get surprised most of the time. So they hate surprises. You hate talking to them about surprise bills too. And then you really get a better sense of working with your clients, because if you include in your pricing a half hour or an hour of telephone conversations or a little bit of work that you would do based on those telephone conversations, then your clients don't have a fear of calling you and asking a question. Now, they're not going to call you and talk to you about the time of day and their kids and everything along those lines. They're going to call you because they have an issue, they have a question, and hopefully you'll be able to resolve that issue and that question for them. And as you do that, as they are happening, rather than later on, like, why did you do that type thing, then they could potentially save money in the long run. They can also budget. This way they know exactly what their accounting expenses and their expenses with you are every single year. They don't have to worry about a surprise tax bill later on once a year, but they know in their budget exactly how much they'll be paying you every single month. So what's in it for you? Number one, consistent cash flow. You don't have the ups and downs of tax season, and you know that you have cash coming in the door, and you can use that cash and plan for that cash, knowing that you have an even amount of cash coming in the door, and paying your bills and those types of things become much easier. Not much easier, but they're much more consistent. You don't have to pull out of savings to pay monthly cash expenses. Okay. There's no billable hour pressure. So there's not the pressure, I've got to bill X number of hours this month or X number of hours this week or X number of hours today. It's simply you do it and you know what's coming in. You'll have more flexible time because you'll be able to get things done in different periods of time. And if you want to take every Friday off, if you, as long as all the work is done, you can take every Friday off or every Monday or every Tuesday or something that is good for you so that you have time to do other things. And you'll also have happy clients who refer business to you because most CPAs are billable hours. And when you start doing it this way, they get happier and they're going to refer and they're going to talk about it. And their friends and their colleagues will go, gee, maybe I should talk to you. You get a referral at that point. So let's get into the pricing. Before we do that, here's some suggested exclusions. Number one, you're not going to do cleaning up books. You have no idea what that's going to cost you when you're cleaning up books. So giving them a flat rate for cleaning up books, unless you do it really high, is probably not a good idea. Number two is IRS communications. You never know how long you're going to be on the phone with the IRS, and those issues come up. IRS audits or state audits or sales tax audits or any other types of audits. Business valuations and negotiations also are not part of recurring revenue. These are one-off things. They don't happen all the time. If you do clean up books, then guess what? Then you can get them on a recurring revenue pricing type model. But it really takes cleaning up the books first so that they're clean, and that takes time and surprises sometimes too. All right, the IRS, state, tax, those things are hopefully don't happen very often, but they're also one-off type things. And obviously, if you're evaluating the business and you're negotiating the sale of a business, that's not in recurring revenue either. So those things should be excluded. When we get back from break, I'll get into the pricing. Thanks for listening to the Financially Fit Business Podcast.
Financial advisory services are the key to the longevity of the accounting profession. If you want to get started providing advisory services or want a review of a finance course you took in college, Ruth King's manual, Understanding Financial Trends Analysis, might be your first step. This manual gives you the information you need to help your clients with their financial statements. A great start or addition to your financial advisory practice. You help them with clarity on their business's financial health, the ability to spot impending issues and resolve them before they become a major crisis. Less stress and sleepless nights worrying about the financial part of their business. Your Financial Statement Trends Analysis Manual is the reference guide. What do you want in your financial advisory services practice? Click on the link below for more information and to order.
We're back. Thanks for listening to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. Before the break, I gave you exclusions from recurring revenue pricing, but let's talk about some of the inclusions that you can use. Let's talk about the bookkeeping related ones first. Obviously, payroll preparation. And I find now that a lot of CPAs outsource this to one of the national firms or regional firms because it's faster for them to do it, it's cheaper for them to do it, and it's better for you, better for your client because they pay less, and you just input the data into their bookkeeping systems. Payroll tax reports can also be outsourced with whomever's doing your payroll. Bank reconciliations, of course, and preparation of the profit and loss statement and balance sheet. Tax related, obviously sales tax reports, inventory tax reports, franchise and other state tax reports, income tax of federal and income tax of state if you have it, and income tax of city and local, if you have it. So, you can include all of that. You have a pretty good idea if you're doing their books, how long this is going to take to do. Financial advisory, obviously financial review preparation and financial review with the client. So an annual budget preparation would be the third. Access to you through phone and Zoom meetings would be part of the process as well. Okay. So those would be the things that I would include. And then again, make sure you find out how much your client invested with you last year and in previous years so that you have a baseline. And then give them the options to choose from. Before we do that, one of the things that you need to know and how to price this and pricing it accurately is basically what your costs are. If your hourly rate for an accountant is X, an hourly rate for your bookkeeper is Y. And then you also want to look at your overhead costs per hour. So, how do you find out your overhead costs per hour? So, look at your billable hours from last year and look at your total overhead and divide the two. Let's, for example, if your total overhead last year was $250,000 and you had 10,000 billable hours, 250,000 divided by 10,000 is $25, and that's your overhead cost per hour. And you need to know that when you're pricing, because all of the time that you include, you have to add your overhead cost to it. If you would like a template for setting up for the flat rate pricing, I'm happy to send it to you. Just contact me, and the contact information will be at the end of this podcast. So you can choose, or your clients can choose to have you do everything, or they can choose you to do a piece of things. So if they want you to do your bookkeeping, including your P&Ls and balance sheet preparation, payroll taxes and everything from there, and they want you to do your income taxes, which is where you probably have started, and then include the financial review preparation. They want you to do everything. That you'll give them a total monthly investment. And if they choose that you outsource the payroll, you don't have to tell them. Well, you would tell them that you would outsource the payroll, but you would also say it's much cheaper for them and cheaper for you to outsource it, and you will oversee it and make sure that it's correct, and it's correctly put into the P&Ls. That could be another option. Financial review and taxes are a third option. So if all they want you to do is financial review and taxes, it's a very different investment every month than if they want you to do everything every month. But think about it this way. Even if you gave them the financial review and taxes and that's all they wanted you to do, you'd be in a situation where you're talking to them every month and you're eliminating one of the frustrations that many clients have with their CPAs is the fact that they only talk to them once or twice a year. This goes away. And if you know how much the tax preparation has been over the past couple of years, you can, if it's been $12,000, you just divide it by monthly, it's $1,000 a month, and add your financial review on top of it. And then you're in a situation, boom, it's done really, really, really quickly. They know exactly how much they're going to be spending with you every month. And they know they're going to be talking to you every month about reviewing their financial statements. And you go from there. So that's what I would do with respect to pricing. And it's pretty easy to do. Decide what you want to decide, everything that you can offer them: bookkeeping, tax, and financial review, and then break it up into pieces to decide what they eventually want to do, because it's their money and they can choose how they want to work with you on a monthly basis. So remember that the enrollment process is to make a list of the potential advisory clients, which we've talked about in the first podcast, contacting them up to set an appointment, and then you will then do the situation where you once you've got the appointment, do the homework to figure out how much they've spent and what the pricing would be for the different models. And then we're going to talk about showing them what their financial statements actually look like in graphical form. And when you've got the pricing, so this can be the preparation for the meeting. And we will cover that in our next podcast. So thank you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a business owner improve the health of his company. For comments or questions or to get the pricing template, call me at 770-729-8000 or email rking@financiallyfit.business. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.